Hello everybody, welcome back to the Art Shack. So the other day was pretty interesting. I posted up a little sketch that I did. I was browsing the web and looking up a phoenix, and then I did some research on it, seeing how often it gets searched, and just decided to give it a sketch to see how it would turn out, to see if I could actually pull one off. And I was surprised with the result, and then I figured I'd post it up to my Facebook page to see how the general public would react to it. And so far that picture has the most amount of likes that I've ever gotten on anything else that I posted on there, so that's quite surprising. And for those of you that don't yet follow me on Facebook, I'm always posting up things on there. I know I keep saying this every video, but I'm always posting up new things on there. So check the link and follow me on Facebook, and you'll find out a bunch of new things, what I'm doing behind the scenes and things like that. It's just great stuff. Alright, I'm going to get back to the tutorial, and I'm going to be doing this in real time. Enjoy. So, also more so than that, I'm kind of expanding what I'm getting into. Doing more things and just trying to expand what I draw on a regular basis. So, as I was rambling there, I drew in the basic sketch for the two wings. I'm pretty much drawing the same thing that I did on my Facebook page, but I noticed that this wing on my Facebook page was shaped a little bit weird. So I want to fix it in this drawing so that you guys can, see how not that's supposed to look, but it'll look better this way. So you could just follow these lines. It's like a really stretched out S-curve, I guess, is the best way to really explain the way it goes. I'm just trying to change the camera to, there we go, to manual focus. Because some previous tongue twisters. Some of my previous videos, the recording, it goes in and out of focus, and it's like having a spaz attack on film. It's really frustrating, and there's nothing I can do about it once it's in, once it's recorded. So I figured out after the fact that I can put the camera into manual focus, and voila, it fixed the problem. So that was cool. So I have the wings, and I don't know why, I like drawing these wings super huge. They're much bigger than they should be, but it looks cool, because it's a bird pretty much made of fire, so you can exaggerate things that have fire involved. It just makes it look a lot more epic. So I'm kind of just drawing in the main body here, and I'm using my older sketch, or the sketch I made the other day. I'm using that as a reference. I have it standing up in front of me, just to look at it and see the way I did it, and I'm improving upon some things that I messed up on as well. But these lines, they're just loose at the moment. They're not like set in stone. A lot of it's gonna be different, especially when I start getting into the major shading of different things. Alright, so this is the one thing I had trouble with when I was drawing them, was the legs and the feet. Because they were kind of, the reference picture I checked out online, they were kind of weird. The way that they were presented. So I'm keeping everything loose for now, because I'm gonna really shade the whole thing in dark, because with the bird being pretty much made of fire, the wings and everything are gonna be very light, and putting it on a darker background is really gonna make them show up a lot more. So the other leg comes in somewhere around here, something like that, and I'm just keeping this very, very loose. I just want to kind of see where everything's being laid out. Alright, and then we'll have the bottom there. I did the same thing with the tail section of the bird. I just totally blew it out of proportions. I was having fun with it yesterday. I just wanted to see how crazy I can make this thing look, and still portray a semi-realistic look. So with these wings, I'm just gonna draw like a half circle up here, something like that, and have them really come back in down here, something like that. Now I know you're looking at this and you're like, that probably looks like crap, but it's merely, or just purely for reference, or just to guide out where I want things to be. These lines are just a placeholder so that I know where I'm going to be placing the bigger feathers when I get to it. This wing, I might have come up a little more like that. See, I'm changing things as I go. It's the way I usually do it. I erase things all the time. I'm always experimenting and trying to get a feel for how things are working. And I usually don't get it the first try. Alright, so this one is doing the same deal. Something like that. Okay. So this is the very basic sketch. This wing is... it's coming up a little high. I might cut it off around here, but it's no big deal. At this point... oh, I guess I should say that I did this entire sketch with a 2H pencil. I just like to keep things light very first. Now I'm going to grab the 4B. And everything close to the bird I'm going to sketch really dark, and as it gets further away I'm going to lighten it up a bit. So this is what I mean by, you know, these lines at the moment. Don't have to worry about them because I'm going to pretty much totally redo it. It's just a placeholder so that I know where not to shade in. It's the same deal with doing the clouds. You just want to mask out where you don't want any shading to be. And this 4B pencil is rather dark, which is what I want. And the closer you get to the wing, the darker you want to make it. It's going to give it like a silhouette effect. Okay, so for the next part I spent about maybe 10 minutes doing this, and there's not a huge point in doing it in real time. It's a fairly easy step. All I did was take that 4B pencil and shade around the wings, the body of the bird, and the tail section. I pretty much just shade the entire area in. Later on I'll do some erasing and it'll all come back out again. But after I initially do the entire shading, I'll work out that shade, you know, keeping it darkest towards the wings and making it lighter as it moves out into the rest of the paper. Then I take the blending stump or a cloth or like a cotton ear swab, whatever you have, it'll all work. And use that and start blending it all together. And make sure when you're blending, you're doing it in like small circular motions. It helps to get rid of a lot of the texture and just gives it a nice smooth transition. But what's nice is that it doesn't always smooth it out completely. It leaves a little bit of texture, which it leaves a bit of interest, which is a pretty cool effect in the end. I'm also probably guessing by now, you guys are probably like, what are you doing? You know, it doesn't really look, you know, too great. But believe me, what I'm doing right now is a process I like to call setting the stage. It's just getting all the prep work done so that when you go in to work the final details, it doesn't take as much work and it comes out a hell of a lot better. So if you follow the steps all the way through, I guarantee you'll have a pretty good drawing in the end. Just one final note, I also shaded in the back portions of the wings. That'll help me later on in the drawing. Alright, so what do I need? I'm actually going to start off with, I'll grab the 2B. I'm going to do the front portion of the wings. And I'm just going to start out by shading it in pretty darkly. Shading in dark. I don't know if darkly is a word. I just make things up. Alright, so I'm gonna need to go darker. This one. Gotta love that. See that? Because Pencil just broke. Awesome. Alright, I gotta sharpen again. That's why I keep saying having a pencil sharpener is a good idea. I hate it when the pencils break though, because broke it again. That probably made a really loud sound in the microphone. I'm sorry. Alright, I'll just work with that. The pencil sharpener is being a little bit temperamental at the moment. It knows that I'm recording and it wants me to look bad in front of you guys. So. Alright. Doing a little work with the wing here. I'm pretty much gonna do like a gradient of 3 shades for the whole wing. And it's gonna look pretty cool once I start doing in some of the detail work. Alright, so that was with a 4B. I'll see how this comes out with a 2B. I may switch. That's not bad. Something along the lines of this. I'm gonna have to make that 4B section probably a bit darker. Now I know you're probably thinking, what the hell are you doing? Just trust me. I do this stuff all the time. I'm gonna start erasing out and you're gonna be like, how the hell did you do that? So, like I said, it's just setting the stage. Setting the stage for an amazing thing to happen. It's just all preparation work. Alright, I'll grab the 4B again. I'm gonna need something darker. So when I need something darker, I don't like going anything darker than a 4B because of the shine that it gives off. It's ridiculous. So this is the Kimberly 9XXB. I found this online on someone's video and they said if you want something that doesn't shine, this is the pencil to go to, and by God, they were correct. There's not a whole lot of shine with this thing, but it is dark. If you press on this thing, it is super dark. So I like to use it, but I don't like to use it a lot because it is really dark. So I'm just gonna do something like that. Alright, so I'm somewhere where I want to be. Blend this out. Some work with this. Okay, here we go. Here it is. I was looking for my eraser. So like I was saying before, just make sure you have an eraser with a sharp tip on it. It doesn't really matter which one you have, but this one will probably be the best thing, or if you have something smaller, that'll work too. So with this, we just want to start erasing out some details here. This is like the first feathered section of the wing here. And I'm just erasing out, you know, no specific pattern, or I'm just erasing. The only thing I'm doing is up here, I'm erasing up, and then as I get here, I'm erasing more sideways, and then when I get down the bottom, I'm erasing not down, but in a slightly downward motion. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. Okay. And then I'll go back in with an HB, and I just want to highlight or pick out individual eraser marks. And just do that by making some line work following the eraser line. And it'll start to look like feathers. You know, it's not a hyper detailed feather, but to the eye, it will look like feathers. And I'm always trying to find ways to easily do things without spending hours and hours putting in hyper detailed work. You know, I always try to make a realistic styled or texture without doing all the painstaking work of actually doing all the detail work for it. So it's kind of like cheating, but I like to think of it as a shortcut. Alright, so same thing over here. We're gonna make like a new layer of feathers. Same deal. You want to erase upwards up here and something like that over here. Yeah, nothing really special, just yeah, just something simple. Alright, so and I'll grab an HB pencil and do the same deal again. But I'm also going to be shading a lot in between these two layers. I have these two layers spaced out a bit. They're further away up here than they are down here. Down here they're really close together. I want to shade in between where these are. And this is very similar to how I draw grass. So I'm using like past experiences to help bring me through different ones. So it's kind of funny how drawing one thing is very similar to doing another. You know, drawing grass is very similar to how you draw feathers. And if you watch my how to draw grass tutorial, it may help you with this one. So I'll be sure to link that at the end of this one. That is a definite factor I'll do. Alright. Something like this. Alright, and then you can always go back in. I'm realizing that this needs to be a bit lighter. Actually, it should be a bit darker. What am I thinking? Grab a 2B. Try to make this first section of feathers stand out a bit more. And I think for the sake of time, I'm going to finish this wing out in real time, but this one I'm going to probably do in time lapse. And don't worry, it's following the same principles as this one. If you were able to do this wing, the other one should not be an issue. Okay, and I'll keep using this. And I'm just shading in between where I erased out to make more contrast for when I add in the third layer of feathers. And another reason why I shaded it in is because since the bird is pretty much engulfed in flames, I'm going to have like pieces of fire coming off the wings, and with a black background that'll really stand out. It's gonna look cool. It's gonna look really cool. Alright, so I'm getting a little bit carried away with my detail work, like I usually do. I'll sometimes spend 2 or 3 hours on a drawing, you know, no problem. But here's where the feathers get huge. Right, so, and this is where I can see mistakes being easily made. You don't want to overdo this section. You want to keep the feathers tightly compact in the core section of the wing, and then you want to have them spread out considerably as they get further out. Something like that. I notice that, you know, they're kind of curving a bit this way. They have an arc to them, and that arc will swing all the way, so it's kind of like the S-curve sort of deal. And now I'm using this as an anchor point, and I'm carrying it all the way around this side here, like that. And now I am moving it down. Actually, it should be up more a little bit. You can always alter the shape of them if you notice that you kind of messed up a little bit. It's not a huge deal. Alright, and that's the first wing, you know, in a nutshell. It's just a little bit more detail work from here. Alright, and then it's just going back in with a pencil and shading in, you know, where you still have some lighter areas left. Now this section I need to kind of go back in and be a little bit careful because I want to effectively change the direction of these, have them follow this pattern a bit more. So actually what I'm going to do, see, if you kind of mess up like this, just take the blending stump and go right back over it again, just like that. It'll be as if you never did it. That's why I like pencil. If you screw up, you can always just start again. So it's not like a huge deal. Alright, and now I want to start curving it down like I have over here. It would be more like that. That looks better, at least I think. Because now it follows the direction of all this. And I'm just going to erase out a little bit more, just to kind of bring them out a little bit. And then it's just a matter of going back in a little bit and picking out some individual feathers to accent and kind of highlight a bit. It's mainly just kind of shading in a little bit, but you want to follow the motion of the feathers. Something like that. And this, in a nutshell, is pretty much the first section of feathers, or the first wing rather, something like that. Alright, I'm going to do the second wing in time lapse, and I will meet back with you in a few short moments. Alright, so I finished off the second wing, and I'm just going to go back in real quick and kind of make this shading in this one just a wee bit darker, just to kind of match up what I did with the other one. Yeah, I don't want to get stuck too crazy with this, but I'll just kind of leave it as is for the moment. Alright. And now all that's left is the main body and the tail section. Well, luckily the main body isn't that difficult. It's just a bit of shading, really. Because that's not really the important part. It's not like the big eye catcher. It's the wings, really, that really draw in a lot of the attention. I'm just blending it out a little bit. Let's grab a 4B. And I'm going to do this section a little bit darker. And this is one of the legs. Just shade the bottom part in pretty dark. Here's the second one. And something like that for the moment. And this is getting to be like the underside of the wing over here. And now I'm just going back and forth between a lot of pencils. Okay, that's starting to look better. Alright, and now for like the beak, I need to erase out this section again. Have that like that. Alright, and what I like to do is carry this whole top line of the head and then have it do like a semicircle and then swoop back, sort of like that. And then I'll put the eye underneath, something like that. And then I'll have the beak sort of like that. Alright, I need to bring back out the feet. The feet aren't too important in this, but it's just a nice element to have. Alright, I'll shade on top of the head a bit. Another cool thing I like to do is to erase out like this. It's gonna look like kind of like ears almost, but not really. It's just gonna be like a flame carrying off from its head, sort of deal. Just a little something extra. You know, just sort of a subtle effect. Nothing major. Something like that. Alright, now let's get down to the tail section. And what I've been using to clean off the erasers is just a big old fan brush. That way you don't get your hand all smudgy. Something like that. Works like a charm. Alright. Now this first section, I'm going to bring in pretty dark. I'm essentially drawing in like a half circle over here. It's kind of like a cone. Really. So we're having a cone shape like that. I'm making it relatively dark. That's just for the first section. Okay, and then I'll erase a little bit just to kind of bring it out a little bit. Yeah, just something like that. Okay. To make this section a bit smoother. And let's get going. Now with these, I have like swooping feathers coming up. sort of like that. And I'll carry these down till about there. And then I'll bring in some larger ones that kind of come down like this. Sort of like that. And then as you get over to here, it's really just gonna sort of be like that. Paintbrush. Paintbrush is good. There we go. Paintbrush works well. Okay, and then it's just a matter of really trying to erase out some of these lines. Okay. Now I'm gonna grab, I guess, a 2B. And just shade in a little bit. You know, the same deal with this, how I made a half cone. I'm gonna make a larger one down here. Alright, and this is really the finishing touches of this. So, this is probably going to be a long video, but for those of you that I know, there's a lot of you that love my long videos. So, I'm sure a lot of you will gladly sit through most of this, hopefully, I hope. Please do. It's always nice. Alright, I'm going to try to bring this out a little bit more. Oh, there goes the air conditioning again. Hopefully you won't be able to hear that with my microphone, but maybe you will. I don't know. Okay, I'm just quickly shading around this more to really bring it out. And then I'll use the blending stump and sort of finish it off. Something like that, just something quick. Alright. Alright. Yeah. It's a phoenix. So it's like I said before, it's a lot of preparation, but in the end it makes an awesome drawing. So it's just setting the stage, it's taking the time and putting in just a little bit of extra work, and it really pays off. So as you can see. So I decided to do the final portion of this drawing in time lapse because it was getting a wee bit too long. But I didn't do much in this last section, so I figured I'd just speed up and kind of give you the highlights of what I decided to do. I just kind of fixed up the background a little bit, made it a bit smoother, a bit nicer, and then I just go crazy with the eraser. Basically just erasing little bits and pieces kind of floating away from the wings, kind of making it look like there's flames just kind of coming off, just to give it a cool effect, making it look like it's really moving in space. So it's just a really nice way to do that. But that's pretty much all I did in this last part. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm going to post up the final picture, and we'll see what you think. Alright everyone, I hope you all enjoyed this one. I really hope that you all sat through this one. Leave a comment if you sat through the entire thing, and let me know what you thought. So if you enjoyed this one, please subscribe, and also give it a thumbs up. It really helps out. Alright everyone, I will see you all later. Take care.